أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all our respected viewers and welcome on Youth Matters. This is your host Sakina Habib. Eid al-Adha is finally upon us and I would like to wish you all a very happy Eid al-Adha Mubarak. Eid al-Mubarak to all celebrating today and tomorrow. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept all your efforts and reward you in abundance. Ameen. So today we're taking a look at how different Muslim communities around the world celebrate this sacred day. In the birthplace of Islam, Saudi Arabia, the spirit of Eid al-Adha is embraced on a huge scale. Millions of Muslims from all over the world gather in the holy city of Mecca to perform the Hajj pilgrimage, an extraordinary experience for those present. Pilgrims will engage in communal prayers at the Grand Mosque, and festivities continue with the sacrificial slaughter of animals and the distribution of meat to those less fortunate. Worshippers will enjoy these days of festivities, food, and celebration. In many African nations such as Morocco, Egypt, and Tunisia, Eid al-Adha celebrations begin with prayer and the sacrifice of an animal. The remainder of the celebration is spent having a feast of meat-filled meals with family and friends, gift giving, and thinking of those less fortunate. And it is also sometimes a public holiday in some countries, and it is all about sharing memories with loved ones, which is very important. In Morocco, Eid al-Adha is known as the Greater Eid and holds a high cultural significance. So actually, this is known as a Greater Eid. I think in most parts of the Muslim countries, we know that we have two major Eids that are celebrated globally, which is Eid al-Fitr after Ramadan, and of course Eid al-Adha, which is celebrated after the completion of Hajj in the month of Dhul Hijjah. So, the atmosphere is filled with festivity, and families decorate their homes before inviting their friends and neighbors for, feast and all of that at home. And in the UK, Eid al-Adha is also very significant and important for all Muslims there. And, they partake in community prayers, family celebrations, and a whole lot of delicious food, similar to our brothers and sisters around the world, is feasted upon. So we will embrace traditions. Usually people embrace traditions and visit their elders on the special celebration, and acts of charity and community service are integral to the celebration of Eid al-Adha all around the world, even in the UK, the US, and Canada, with many of the Muslim brothers and sisters engaging in community projects like donating to food banks or giving to charity. In places such as India and Pakistan, goats and sheep are selected and sacrificed in people's homes or in designated Islamic centers. So millions of Muslims across the globe, are celebrating Eid al-Adha, and it's one of the biggest holidays in the Islamic calendar. It is known as the Feast of Sacrifice. Um, the revered observance coincides with the final rites of the annual Hajj in Saudi Arabia. And Eid al-Adha commemorates the Quranic tale of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam's willingness to sacrifice his son, Prophet Ismail alayhi salam, as an act of obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the belief holds that the belief holds that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stayed his hand, sparing Prophet Ismail alayhi salam and placing a ram in his place. So this was a miracle that took place, and the day is marked with the sacrifice of an animal, usually a goat, a sheep, or cow, and the distribution of the meat among neighbors, family members, and the poor. Now, depending on the region, Eid festivities may vary and have its own unique cultural touch. So let's find out which countries celebrate Eid al-Adha around the world, and what are some unique things that these Muslim brothers and sisters do on this special day. So you'll be quite surprised to find out there were some countries when I was looking up and researching that really surprised me, that how they also really consider this Eid very importantly, and they actually all gather together, and they do their congregational prayers together and spend their time with their family and friends. So let's start with number one. So these are children who are present in Palestine, in Gaza. So children join their parents at Eid al-Adha prayers at an open area in Gaza City. So of course, I know what happened in the past, couple of months. We've been witnessing so much that's been going on, and of course, this is not really the situation right now, but this is what it used to be once upon a time when things were uh, under control and things were, I mean, there wasn't a lot of hardships going on around the world as we've seen in the past few months, but this was how it used to be once upon a time. And of course, we pray in the future that the same children of Palestine, they get to witness again this Eid. And they usually celebrate it like in Masjid al-Aqsa, which is in the old city of Jerusalem. Okay, so the second one is Muslims perform Eid al-Adha prayers at the Yildiz Islamic Center of the Islamic Community's South Holland region, IGMG, in Schiedam, the Netherlands. So this is how it looks like, when all of them gather together at the mosque. The mosque is pretty huge. And all of them, they gather together, and you can see they're all performing their prayers, and that is how it looks like in the Netherlands. Yeah, I think, yeah, okay, yeah, this is how it looks like. Yeah, exactly. So as you can see, it's so well aligned how everybody is seated in the mosque. And the exterior and the interior of the mosque is so beautiful, right? The architecture of the mosque. So this is in Netherlands. Okay, so the next picture is this is how people crowd into a market ahead of Eid al-Adha in the old quarters of New Delhi. So as you can see, of course, this is in India, and it's super packed, and we all know that there's a lot of people, there's a lot of population there. But people on this day as well, they celebrate Eid, and it's called Bakra Eid and Qurbani Eid and all of that. So they all go out into the market, and they select their meat and everything and bring it back home and hold a huge feast. Usually biryani is cooked on that day, and mutton biryani in particular, and a lot of other amazing dishes. And inshallah, we will talk about this more when I come to talk about Pakistan. Okay, next one is the next picture is this is how people, members of a Filipino Muslim family, have their photo taken before going to a mosque for Eid al-Adha prayers in Marikina City, Metro Manila, the Philippines. So as you can see that these are, of course, this is a Muslim family, and they're taking a photograph, all of them, yeah, and they're very excited, and they are heading to the mosque for their prayers. So this is also something, it's a lovely picture. We get to see how they're enjoying. Okay, next one is the next one. Yeah, so this is Muslim women. Okay, these are some Muslim women who are dancing in the street ahead of Eid al-Adha in Ajame, Abidjan, Ivory Coast. So this is, of course, in one of the African countries, and it's a bit, it might come off a bit weird or strange, but this is just how they're, showing their happiness towards this celebration. So they all come out in the streets, and as you can see, they wear this, their traditional clothes, and all of them are singing their folk songs and dancing out and everything. So you can see the guy, he's drumming as well in the picture. So this is how they do it in the Ivory Coast. Okay, so let's see what they do in Azerbaijan. So Muslims perform Eid al-Adha prayers at the Mosque of the Martyrs in Baku, Azerbaijan. So this is how they all gather together, and they stand together in a line outside of the mosque area, and they all commemorate their prayers. Okay, next one is, okay, so this one is in Beirut, Lebanon. Muslims arrive at the Muhammad Al Amin Mosque. It is a very well known mosque in Beirut, where so many Muslim brothers, they gather together, and it's like more like coming in together, uniting together, showing that brotherhood and everything. So that's how they are celebrating. Okay, next one. Let's see which country is next. So the next one is very interesting. It's a girl holding a balloon, as you can see in the picture. So a girl holds a balloon as Indonesian Muslims attend Eid al-Adha prayers on a football field, okay, in Depok, West Java, Indonesia. Now, I just want to talk a little about Indonesia. Indonesia is home to the largest Muslim population in the world, like 12.7% of the world's Muslims. So on the morning of Eid al-Adha, over 200 million Muslims dress in their best clothes and gather together for Eid prayers at mosques. And it doesn't matter which part of the world you live in, but prayers followed by Eid gift exchanges are the same for everyone. And over 300 ethnic groups call Indonesia home, making its cuisine one of the most vibrant and diverse in the world. So, for example, if you want to like choose something to gift someone on this Eid day, especially in Indonesia, they like something which is international yet eclectic for the region. And what they really like is like a gourmet gift basket. So like a gift that includes an assortment of some world's most popular, cheeses and savory snacks. That's the perfect choice of your Indonesian friends or family members selection. So if anybody wants to ever, gift sometimes in Indonesia on this Eid day, so this is what they usually do. It's like a platter with, cheese and some cherry tomatoes, and some, it's called like a fromage gourmet. It's more like savory stuff that is put out on the table. It's really interesting and people really enjoy that. Okay, so next one is next country. Can anybody guess? So this is Pakistan. So in Pakistan, Eid al-Adha is observed for almost 4 days, and on the day of Eid, people spend the morning in prayers, followed by performing the act of qurbani, religious humane sacrifice of an animal, and a big family feast. So the tradition of qurbani, I had already mentioned, originated from the stories in sacred texts about the time Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam demonstrated his obedience to Allah by agreeing to sacrifice his son. So Allah allowed him to sacrifice a sheep instead and to spare his son's life. Now, even in the modern day, many Muslim families who can afford it sacrifice their best halal sheep, goat, camel, or cow on this holiday. So those who cannot afford to buy an animal chip in with other families. And the Qurbani tradition, which is natural for Muslims, can sometimes also be a cultural shock for outsiders. It's important to remember that the Islam religion requires kindness to one's animals, as well as humane methods of slaughter, particularly for religious rites. So once the animal is prepared, its meat is divided into 3 parts. The first is used to cook the festival feast. The second portion is offered to the relatives and neighbors, and the third is given to the poor. And no one goes hungry on Eid. So knowing that this tradition is performed humanely and the meat is given away to help their community makes sure that they get the most out of each sacrifice. And as you can see in the picture, like, this trader, he's, marking a sign on this camel's face, because this camel is like, is going to be selected to be slaughtered. Yeah, so that's how they mark the animals. So like, these are the animals that will be slaughtered on that particular day. Now let me give you some interesting fact. Yeah, so according to the Pakistan Tanners Association, around 10 million animals are slaughtered during the 2 days of Eid al-Adha in Pakistan alone. It might sound horrendous, but did you know that, those who celebrate Thanksgiving, they kill over 45 million turkeys for Thanksgiving? So just saying, for those people who are wondering, like, why do we do that? Or Muslims do that? Why do they slaughter? So, okay, now if you're wondering what Eid gift in Pakistan should you give to people on, Eid al-Adha, so you can always, along with the meat, the Eid table is always full of traditional snacks. You've got dried fruits and nuts, and also very famous sweet dishes, like you've got the kissa khani kheer, and you've got savaiyan also sometimes in Eid al-Fitr. Of course, we have that, and so many other things are served on the table. Usually, there's a lot of variety of savory items as well. So usually, people who are living in joint families, they really enjoy this Eid a lot. And the same applies for India. India has the third largest number of Muslim population in the world, following Indonesia and Pakistan. So since the time Islam arrived in India 1,000 years ago, the Eid is celebrated like everywhere else, and animals are sacrificed. But unlike other countries, cow is considered sacred in India, and its sacrifice is banned. Instead, people slaughter goats and then distribute its meat to their friends, neighbors, and the poor. And in India, they like to, serve some fruits more on the table, like a fruitylicious hamper overflowing with appetizing seasonal and exotic fruit. So, when people come in and greet and stuff, so that's what they put on the table. Okay, so next country that we have, this one is Serbia. So Serbia, okay, what is very interesting about the people of Serbia is that they really like to enjoy their Eid with some savory items. So they really like to make it like a salty Eid. So they've got all the nuts and dried items placed on their table, and this is how they are performing their prayers in the mosque. And this is actually at Bajrakli Mosque in Belgrade, Serbia. Okay, next one. So Eid al-Adha prayers are held at Mustafa Pasha Mosque in Skopje, North Macedonia. And this is also, can you see how interesting this, like, I never even knew about this place, that there were Muslims, like, in North Macedonia, and like, they're all praying together. Muslims are all gathered together. Look at their mosque, it's so beautiful. I actually just love the way the pulpit is so high, like, where the Molana basically recites. So he has to, like, go all the way up there. It's such a long pulpit, as you can see, the member, and yeah, that's how they celebrate it. Yeah. Okay, so next one is this is in Croatia. So Muslims arrived to perform Eid al-Adha prayers at Zagreb Mosque in Croatia. Can you imagine? There are also Muslims who are in Croatia, and even they give so much importance to Eid al-Adha, and they all gather together, and like, you can see the crowd, how heavily it's packed. So this is a place in Croatia. And next one. Okay, so can you guess which place can this be by just looking at the people? So this is in Albania. Albanian Muslims celebrate Eid al-Adha at Skanderbeg Square in the capital Tirana. Albania. And as you can see, some women are mixed. Like, you can see there are some non-Muslim women and there are also Muslim women. But look at how they are, blossoming. They're how they are embracing each other's faith, right? Like they're all together and enjoying, even the Muslim sisters and even the non-Muslim sisters. So it's like they're showing that unity that they have. Okay, next one is, this is people performing Eid al-Adha prayers at the Osmanagic Mosque in Podgorica, Montenegro. So as you can see in the photograph, again, it's almost similar to what we had seen in Macedonia, right? It was pretty similar to that. So this is how they have their imams, dressed up, and they go up there to give the khutbah of Eid after prayers, and everybody sits and listens to the lectures. So it's a very beautiful congregational gathering overall. Okay, next one. Yeah, so who would have expected, yeah, that there are also Muslims in Russia, and this is Muslims praying outside the Moscow Cathedral Mosque, yeah, during celebrations in Moscow, Russia. And it's so interestingly, look how their imam is, sitting on that, I don't know what you call it in English. It's like a charpai, yeah, we say in Urdu. So it's like he's sitting on that netted bed, I don't know what. And you see, that's how he's leading the congregational prayers, and everybody behind him are following. And there's this really beautiful mosque that you can see behind. So that's their cathedral mosque. You can just tell by the look of it, like, they are based in Russia. They're located in Russia, right? The from the feet, from the look of the picture, you can see. Okay, next one. This one is, yeah. So this one, as you can tell from the women, how they're wearing their scarf, their hijab looks very similar to the Turkish women, right? So yes, you are right. Muslims are attending prayers on the first day. This is how Muslims attend their prayers on the first day of Eid al-Adha outside the iconic Hagia Sophia Mosque, which is very well known. I know so many people who visit Turkey. If you've ever been to Turkey, this is one of the what do you say, the tourism sites, the that people must go and visit. It's called the Hagia Sophia Mosque in the historic Sultan Ahmet district of Istanbul, Turkey. So look at the crowd again. It's crowded, but people are so excited, and everybody is going to pray their prayers over there. Okay, next one. Yeah, so this is in Kenya, Nairobi. An imam delivers a sermon as Muslims gather for prayers to celebrate Eid al-Adha, or the Feast of Sacrifice, in Nairobi, Kenya. So this is in Africa. And as you can see, he is, giving out a lecture. He is propagating the message of Eid to everybody out there. And everybody is listening, and you can see some of them are even wearing these Arab style clothes, because yes, there is a little bit of integration between the Swahili culture and the Arab culture. There are some similarities. So they try to dress up in the way the Saudis do, the Arabs do, and they all sit down, as you can see on the plain ground, all of them together, and they listen to the khutbah or the lecture, whatever the imam has to say, or the lecture, and that's how they enjoy their Eid, and they get together. And then of course when they go back home, they enjoy their meal feast together. Sometimes some food items are also given to them while they are listening to the speeches in between, like something like snacks or something like that. So yeah, this is how people celebrate Eid around the world. So I hope that all of you, really enjoyed as I took you on a world tour. Internationally, we saw how different people around the world celebrate Eid. And just to add a point about Egypt, so even Eid al-Adha is more commonly known in Egypt as Eid al-Kabir or Eid al-Kibr, meaning the big Eid. And the festival starts off like everywhere else. Eid prayers are followed by a sermon and a family gathering with a huge feast. And charity is very, very popular during Eid in Egypt. And people donate qurbani meat as well as other food very generously to those in need. So, you know how they gift each other in Egypt. So, in contrast to Eid al-Fitr, which is called the sweet Eid for its variety of sweet dishes. Eid al-Adha is nicknamed salty Eid in Egypt for the abundance of savory food on the table. So, you know, to make the holiday a tad sweeter for those you love and respect in Egypt, send them an assortment of cookies and chocolate and other delicious treats that everyone can enjoy and they really love it. When it comes to UK, US, and Europe, Muslims living in Western countries no doubt miss the Eid festivities back home, but that doesn't dampen their spirits nor their celebrations. So while in the US or any European country, some traditions may be adjusted and people still closely observe traditions and attend Eid prayers and have a huge feast with their family and friends. And usually friends, you know, will visit one another, go to a restaurant or rent out a park to celebrate Eid al-Adha, or they can spend the day calling family overseas and leave visiting friends for some other time. And people also love enjoying desserts, whether traditional baklava or good old chocolate, and sending Western Muslims a chocolate gift basket for Eid al-Adha is a great gesture that will not only demonstrate your thoughtfulness but also make their celebration complete. So, wherever your friends and family are this Eid al Adha, sending them a gift will show your love and generosity. From food gifts to charming flowers, all will be a welcome sight this month as they open their homes and hearts to the holiday. And of course, we pray for all our brothers and sisters who can not enjoy Eid al-Adha this year due to whatever reasons or circumstances. We pray for them and we pray for the oppressed brothers and sisters, and you know we pray that inshallah may Allah make things better for everybody, because Eid al-Adha is an occasion cherished by millions of Muslims worldwide in devotion to our faith. And while the essence of the festival remains consistent, the customs and traditions surrounding it vary from region to region, but the happiness that is shared remains the same. So, wherever you are in the world, we hope you enjoy this blessed celebration with your family and friends, not forgetting to keep those less fortunate in your prayers. Thank you very much, and I'll be taking your leave. This is your host, Sakina Habib, signing off. Jazakumullahu khairan. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.